So today we are going to talk about Tanuki Bonsai. Most people know what Tanuki is because they've heard about it, but for those of you who are new to it, I will reiterate and repeat the story about Tanuki. So I'm standing in front of a Tanuki Bonsai. So this is a tree with driftwood, a juniper with driftwood. This was made by someone else. And the real tree is this one live, and that is just a false piece of wood. In case you think all trees that have driftwood is a tanuki, that is not so. If you look at this one, that is genuine driftwood. That is not a tanuki, that is a real driftwood juniper. Most of these, there are very few tanukis I have. That's the only tanuki we have of any consequence on the nursery. We've made some small ones, but as soon as we make it, people buy them and they get sold. So let me tell you what the history of tanuki is. The word tanuki, in case you don't know, is a word to describe a Japanese raccoon, I think. It's cross between a raccoon or a fox. And the Japanese have some fables about this famous animal called the tanuki, because the raccoon or fox, like the urban foxes in Britain and many continental countries, they are scavengers. They know how to live by their wits. They're very crafty animals. In order to survive, they do all sorts of cheating things, things which people don't like. The ordinary person don't like them. So it is a cheating animal. So when the Japanese use the word tanuki, they mean it's a cheat, it's a fake. So that is what the tanuki is. And if you go to Japanese restaurants and public places in Japan, you'll find the tanuki animal. I'll take a picture of a tanuki because I've got a big one in my house. I'll show you what it looks like. And so that is the story of tanuki. So it is an animal that is symbolic of people who cheat and try to con others. Con means to bluff others. So I've here today my good friend Paul Katanak, who I've known since the mid-80s. More than 40 years I've known Paul, and he's come back into bonsai, and he's brought some material, and we're going to experiment with a tanuki or several tanukis if we have the time, and we will take you through the entire process. So this is a tanuki, but not all trees that have driftwood are tanuki trees. So maybe I will show you some other trees which are genuine trees. So to make a tanuki, that means a bonsai with driftwood, we have to have the driftwood. That is absolutely fundamental. It's no point doing a tanuki if you don't have decent driftwood. Many people bring all sorts of wood, but they're not always suitable. The first criteria with making tanuki is to find wood that has a lot of character. Now these are unfortunately dead junipers, very expensive juniper from Japan, which died, I don't know why. And look at that twisted wood. That would be ideal material for doing a tanuki. This is a needle juniper. This is also beautiful. Look at the twist and bend on it. So this could be used also for doing a tanuki. So I've not got around to using these, but we always keep these dead pieces of wood because they are useful. Now, I said that they should be characterful. So these are really beautiful pieces. There's no good getting a piece of wood which is just a round blob like a sweet potato or something, which has got no character. It's got to have dramatic wood thing. And the other criteria is that the wood needs to be very hard. If you get wood like willow wood, which doesn't even last 3 or 6 months and rots after 3 or 6 months, all your efforts will have been wasted because the wood has rotted. So you've got to find wood that is durable and hard. Now, Paul here today has brought some very interesting pieces which we are going to use. Now, let's talk about this. Tell me something about these pieces, Paul.
These I picked up only a few days ago.
Okay.
Sadly,
All right. Okay. They're dead bonsai. Look
they're
at
dead
beautiful.
larch.
Larch, okay. Now I can tell you straight away, larch is a very hard wood. They're
Yeah.
used for fencing, and the wood is extremely durable. So you chose well. And the character of the trunk,
Yeah,
you chose it because of that?
Yeah, I like this one because it seems to have a very flat side, which
Okay.
I think is just begging to have a
Yes.
live tree on this side.
Okay.
They need cleaning. They need sandblasting before
Take the bark off.
Yeah, before I start
Yes.
working on, because it's much harder afterwards to try and get the bark
Yeah.
off without killing
What
live
would you
side.
use? A machine?
A sandblaster, I think,
Okay.
or a
Okay, I've never
bead
used
blaster.
that.
No. So that one I think lends itself to an
Yeah,
upright,
that's very
as it
nice.
was when it
Yeah.
was alive. This one I'm not so sure about. It's
That also, the base is very interesting.
yeah,
See, he tried to
possibly a
do a
raft.
tanuki. No, see, he's tried to do, when the tree was young, he's wrapped a branch round the main trunk. Can you see? Very clever what
Yeah.
he's done. And made that twist
Maybe
round.
this was already dead.
Yeah, that was already
Yeah,
dead.
perhaps
So
that was
he
already dead. I don't know.
took a live branch up to make it. So this has got character. So anything twisty and turny
Yeah.
makes lovely roots. And of course, roots sometimes are very nice if you stand it upside down, if you blast it.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see what it looks like after you blasted it. So we brought this really to show you. This is very good potential material. So this is ideal material for doing tanuki. Now let's talk about this one. Let's put it on the surface there, and you can tell me about this one.
This has some history.
Yeah.
This is yew.
That yew is very good one.
And
really hard.
It was given to me by a friend who rescued it from the graveyard in her village.
Oh gosh.
It was growing through a grave dated 1750 something. So the tree obviously was already dead.
Yeah.
And the parish council were cleaning up and they were going to burn it.
Oh.
And she didn't know quite what for, but she rescued it. And I think we can probably
beautiful. Okay,
try
let's
something.
find something. This
is quite a bit of rock.
Yeah, dramatic. It's like a living sculpture on its own, isn't it? Piece of sculpture. I don't know. This side is nice. That side is nice. Both sides are nice. And have you blasted it already?
No, this is as it came.
So
it's been in my greenhouse for the summer, so it's dried out quite a bit.
So this is the starting point. We've got a very beautiful piece of wood. Now we've got to find material to suit the tanuki. Of course, we've got to wrap the live branches around the dead trunk. And for that purpose, we need trees that have flexible branches. If they're very stiff and not bendable, it would be very difficult to wrap it around the thing. So we've got to look for material that can wrap. And we've got to find big material because it's a big tree. So we'll hunt around the nursery and see what we can find. All right. So I'm now walking through the conifer bed. I'm not using deciduous trees. There's no point wrapping a maple because deciduous trees like maples and all don't often have dead wood. So it's usually evergreens that we want to work with. Now this is a blue cedar, and because it's tall and fairly straight, the branches are still, or the trunk is still flexible. So that's a possibility. But if the trunk is too thick and not bendable, then there's no point using that. Even this one, you see, it's a bit too stiff now to wrap around the tree. So I'm looking for material that can be wrapped around. Now here we have, this is grey owl. Now this has got low spreading branches, and this has branches which are like flexible. So this is a possibility. So let us take some of these in. So we will get Paul to take that in, and we'll take, the more branches we have, the better. So we will take 2 in. We will try 2 because they seem to have quite obvious potential. So we found some straight away. So here we are. We found 2 suitable candidates. And what made us choose these plants are, so they are quite nice and long branches or trunks, and they're still quite flexible. They're quite flexible. So because they're flexible, they can hopefully be wrapped around the trunk. So we've got to find some that can be adopted or adapted to the situation. Now this is a Bouverensis pine that I was going to keep for one of our YouTube projects. And looking at it, if you were patient enough, you see it's still a bit flexible. You could get it into the crevices like this, but you see what I mean? You see, you can get branches like this doing all sorts of things. So pine is not often used. Pine is sometimes used, but not often used. The most common species used for tanuki is always the juniper. So, as I said, I always like to encourage people to experiment with different things. Just because one person does something with one species doesn't mean you have to slavishly follow. you can always improvise and do your own thing. That is the fun of the bonsai. You can try and experiment and get great enjoyment from creating new ideas, new things. So we've got this choice of two quite interesting junipers. You look at each of them. Look at it. You can make an instant informal upright tree with that, or do a cascade as always. So we are spoiled for choice in effect. So we've got this one with 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one. So, you know, what do we choose? What do you think, Paul? Because this is your tree, you're going to do it.
Yeah, this one, I like this one more for appearance,
Yeah.
colour, density of
But
foliage.
that will turn like this.
But yeah,
huh?
this one might be easier to work because it's not quite
Yeah.
as thick.
And the branches are a bit longer.
Yeah. So
I tend to agree with you. This may look nice, but this color will come from feeding, you know, so don't worry.
I think
about
that one's a bit too compact at the,
too
at
compact,
the base.
Yeah, this has got longer branches,
Slightly
which are
longer legs.
bendable. Okay, so because of this, like a tunnel or hole, we can wrap branches around this. And this is a very interesting piece, such an interesting piece. And it looks nice from either side. So we are really spoiled for choice, you see. See, this side is nice as well. This side is nice as well.
Would you think of using two identical grafts if we could match them?
Yeah, we
Or
can.
would that be too busy?
No, we can. As I say, we will just experiment and go with the flow and see what turns out when we've done it. So what we should now do, if I hold the tree, or you hold this, and I will try and, why don't you do it? Otherwise, you won't get the fun and enjoyment of it. So put it at the back and then thread some of these branches through like that. Thread it through the hole. You can always raise the height of this.
The root ball.
Yeah,
That's
root
all
ball
right.
somewhere there. Okay, we'll place it on a, yeah, that's it, like so. And bring it as close as possible to the trunk.
Yeah, that's tricky.
Or maybe turn it the other way. If you turn it the other way, you can get the...
This way around?
Yeah, that way. That way around.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Tip the
that.
root ball.
And then thread this through. Okay, take your time. Never rush anything. If you rush it, you'll spoil it. Okay. There's so many crevices. I want to use all these different crevices if I can. Bring it through from the lower down.
That one could go through there and up
See,
there.
and then you see it can be wrapped around like that. Can you see? So we got like a twisty live vein. Yeah, that would be nice too. That would be nice as well. This is shaping up nice, huh? Don't you think? Maybe take the curve from lower down. Make it curve from like that. Leave that for now. Leave that on. Make the curve, the live vein, appear from much lower down. Like so. Like so.
What if we lower the root ball again?
Yeah.
Do you want to try that?
Yeah.
Try it from lower.
No, if you lower too much, you lose the height.
Mm.
You need to see where it starts from. Okay, that can be used. This can be used. This... Okay, that's not bad. When we first used to start doing tanukis back in the 80s and 90s, we used to pin them with brass pins. Brass pins, that means because they're brass or stainless, they don't rust. But nowadays we quite okay using cable ties. So see, like that. Okay, okay. Can you hold it, or I hold it? Hold it in that position, and we get some cable ties. So these are cable ties which we use for packing. And can you see the end?
Yep, hang on. Let's go around some foliage. Let's try it there.
I can never remember which way to thread it. Do you know?
Yeah. It's the flat side.
Was it?
Yeah. You know, you can undo these as
Yeah.
well. You don't have to cut
Really?
them off. Yeah.
Really? I thought it's one
Push a
use.
screwdriver in. Very small screwdriver.
All right. You're getting close here. See that? Tight, really tight. Okay, good. Okay, and then maybe another one to stabilize it. Maybe from here through there. Yeah. And come up somewhere there. Over here.
Okay.
Yeah, really tight. Really, really tight. Okay, great. Okay. Okay.
Now, what about this one on there?
Yeah.
Or around it?
Yeah. Don't forget you got the major one here too.
Let's do that first. And that can go, I can bring it up.
See, the fun is this one's got so many branches, we're spoiled for choice, huh? We're really spoiled for choice.
How about that? And then...
Yeah. Was this the thicker one?
Yes.
Okay.
But that can go somewhere else. But there's a notch there, which it fits quite well.
It's like doing a jigsaw puzzle or curve fitting.
I can...
How about doing this and then take the branch like that? Huh?
Okay.
You can do a double joint too.
I can lash it. There's a small piece here I can lash it to, rather than go around the big trunk.
Will it hold it?
Oh, what was that? Some of this wood is very rotten.
Yeah, but
so,
the main wood is hard.
Now, for this one, so if we play...
No, I think this we can use
Are we going
like that
way?
as a branch,
Okay.
yeah.
See if I can go around the back.
Don't worry, these junipers grow quite fast, so the trunk will thicken in no time. Let's not track this here, okay?
Not quite long enough. I have to double it.
Double it. Yes, plenty.
Right, measure again.
Yeah.
Some of this wood on the back is very fragile, so...
Okay, but the main wood is hard.
This is very hard. I think a lot of this is going to be lost, but we'll see. You can preserve it as well, can't you? Some of the driftwood. Some people put preservatives on them.
Yeah.
I've not done that. I've used lime sulfur, but nothing else.
No, not that. They do wood hardener.
Yes.
Wood hardener is good.
I think it's Ronseal. Other brands are available. Okay. Now. So that's going to need wiring. Now there's another branch. There's this.
Okay, now we got some of these quite thick ones here. I want to utilize this side of the wood as well. See, these, although may appear to be young, they will soon grow and become thick. And once they get thick, they will give the semblance of a live vein very easily. See, all that lovely wood we can thread through, like so. See, we can thread it. It's still young, but let's see. Don't touch it. We'll see how it goes.
on some pieces of driftwood where you don't have as much character as this.
Oh.
I've done it occasionally where you can chisel a channel and press the living plant into the channel. Then that way, as it swells and grows, it grips instead of winding around. But this has got lots and lots.
See, this when it thickens will wrap around us. So do one tiny one there.
Yeah. How high?
There's a hole there. Is there? No.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I can't see it from my side, but it feels like it. Yep. Yep.
Through here.
There we go. So, let me just get the end on then. Okay, now, where would you like it? There?
Yeah, this side.
Oh, perfect. There we go.
Okay, don't cut it yet. Leave it like that. Usually people are tempted to try and style a complete bonsai straight away, but this is where we always talk about patience in bonsai, and you really should exercise some patience to let the branches thicken and develop and then create your tree. So this can continue going around this way. So just put a very light tie like that over there. So this is going to come eventually around this way. So you've got a spiral, beautiful spiral. Join.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So okay. One there.
Right.
Okay.
Can you hold it? I'll
Yeah,
just
sure.
find a pot to prop it up. Is it standing? You holding?
There.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so that gives us some idea. It's going to be a major piece, you see, with the wood coming there and then coming back this way. And then we can, meanwhile, train or wire the branches so that it's going in the right direction. It'll give us some idea as to how the future tree will look. It's going to fall off the edge.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
See, then we can wire these two like that. So this is going to be your branches, and these, whether they are sacrificial or whatever, they will help to thicken the trunk. So we're not going to rush to take it off. As I say, a lot of people want the instant effect. You know, I want to make an instant tanuki, but we'll make it as instant as we can. But the thing is to exercise a bit of patience. So let us just see. I will do a bit of wiring. Don't cut anything off yet. Usually the tanukis are viewed from one side. So we're concentrating on this side as the front. Don't cut anything off here.
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. So as I say, it's very tempting to cut all those off to give an instant effect, but we won't. Let's see how it develops. While we are making this tree, I think I can chat to Paul, because as I told you, I've known Paul for more than 40 years, and he did not lose interest because you had other things to do with your career, so you drifted away from bonsai, did you?
Yeah, I did.
But you come back into it, huh?
Yeah, it was. Well, one of the reasons was I was working abroad.
Oh.
Initially, I was in the Middle East.
Oh.
That doesn't really lend itself to bonsai,
yeah, bonsai.
unless you like palm
Yeah.
trees. And then Australia, and life was just too busy.
Yeah.
But we moved back here
Yeah.
20 years ago, and I never really just never got back into it.
Oh.
And I kept an interest, but young families and bonsais tend
It's
not
nice
to
because sometimes people lose interest completely.
Yeah.
But then there's some people who stick at it.
Sort of stepped back in last year, really.
Yeah, people have so many interests in life, isn't it? So we can have more depth this way. So you can do a bit of wiring to it. We'll do some wiring to make it look like a semblance of a bonsai. So we can stop filming for a while. So let's recap on what we've done so far. We've barely spent 15 or 20 minutes and we've got that far. So we've taken the main trunk of this tree up the back, spiral it around the driftwood, so it's going to come up this way and you're going to get a head there. Two of the side shoots or side branches, we've made branches like that. These little branches we will leave as sacrificials to thicken the trunk, and that is the triangular design we've got. If you want to look at the back, if you can kindly go around the back, I don't want to move it. You can see the pot is at a rather awkward angle, but we're going to pot it like this in a big flower pot. We're going to grow it in a big flower pot to thicken everything up. So we don't want to produce an instant bonsai for people to admire and clap. That is not the purpose, you know. We are going to be patient and develop it. So you can see how the driftwood has come on that. We will put it in a pot and we will show you where we've got to with that.
I think they'd have stayed.
That wood is quite hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, use mine.
You got charge?
Yeah. Take it. And it's a new chain, so.
Oh. Okay, now let us see if it fits.
Ready?
No, that's better.
That's,
yeah.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so the rest is filling soil. Okay. If I just show you what we've done, we've found a big flower pot and I've put a drainage layer of very nice coarse bark. I want good drainage there. And then I'm going to put some compost. And we will put some ordinary compost at the bottom. For young trees, you don't have to use bonsai compost. You see, all these trees are just growing in ordinary garden compost. You see, just this black stuff, and they grow perfectly well. Okay, now let's try this tree in here. Carefully lifting it in.
Yep. How's that front?
Okay, perfect. We will just tease the top of the root ball. Paul, if you can kindly tease it, I'll hold it. As I said earlier, we don't want to rush to produce a finished instant tanuki. This is a long-term project. People are always anxious to show off that it's an immediate bonsai. There's a place for that. Sometimes you can get that effect, but in this instance, we need the branches that we've wrapped around the dead wood to thicken. So the only way to do it is to plant it in a big pot. It's almost like planting it in the ground. You could do it in the ground as well if you didn't have a big pot like this. And then we will just let it grow. I bet you anything, in a year's time, it will become very good. So fill the rest with compost, please, Paul. You see how nicely it has fitted there? See? Perfect. Tip it in, tip it in. Tip the bag
Get under there first.
So this is a big tanuki. Okay, and it's just putting compost. Fine. So here we are. We put it in this enormous pot. If you stand next to it, Paul, you can see how big that pot is. And that is what we've done so far. So we've got the main trunk is going to spiral around there. These are branches, so there's lots of nooks and crannies. We can still poke branches through. Let's stop there and show you what's going on at the back. So you can see there are so many branches here, like 3 other trunks coming up. So they will all help to thicken the trunk. So they're sacrificials. So we still have a choice. And these branches, when they grow, we can also wrap it around the trunk to get like a double spiral, you see, like so. If you hold the camera, please, Akata. See, I just saw this. So like this one, for instance, I didn't see this because it was at the back. So we can always do another one like so. Can you see? Like that. Up, Paul?
Yeah.
You can make it thicker by wrapping another one around when it grows longer. Or you can wrap it like a double coil so that it takes another part. So you can get that effect. Can you see?
Actually,
Like that.
Yeah,
you see, like that.
that. Yep.
So there's so many possibilities still to do. So this is only the start of the journey. So you can see endless possibilities. So what is it? Not even half an hour, we've done a lovely tanuki. You enjoyed it?
Loved it. Great fun.
Okay, and you've got lots of other wood to do. Okay, so we will show you. Finally, we'll end by showing you what a tanuki is like. So we go to another area. For those of our viewers who have never been to Japan or who do not know what a tanuki looks like, this is what you will find in restaurants and in shops in Japan. They're usually put at the entrance of the premises to welcome people. So the tanuki is this really lovable little creature. Look at it. What a cute face, fat belly, and I won't mention the other fat parts. And it's always carrying a bottle of sake. So this little animal is always drunk and jovial. And it has a little purse or a bag on the side. So it symbolizes good luck, symbolizes fun, jollity, all sorts of things. But basically, the tanuki is meant to be a mischievous animal, full of tricks and full of, little deceitful things, but it is called a lovable rogue. So this is a tanuki I purchased when I went to Nagoya back in the 90s. And I, in fact, bought it from the Tokoname factories where they also make tanukis. So this one stands about 60 or 70 centimeters high. So this is what a tanuki looks like if you've never seen one. There you go. When people see these evergreen trees with a lot of driftwood, they think that it is always a tanuki. Not so. In most cases, the driftwood is quite natural. I will show you more examples where the driftwood is completely natural. That is natural. Now these are just pieces of ordinary driftwood with no trees on it. And that's a tree, that's not a tanuki, that's a genuine tree. I will now show you a tree where I simply put a piece of driftwood against a juniper. Now the portion on the right is not part of the tree. I've just put it there because it looks nice with that tree, but you could be fooled into thinking that that is part of the tree. So that in a way is like a tanuki because it's cheating in a way. And so it goes on. Wherever we go, you see lovely driftwood, but it doesn't always follow that they are tanukis. Now let me go to another tree, the Sabina junipers, which come from Spain. These trees here with all that wonderful driftwood. See, that is genuine, that's completely genuine. That is the tree. There's another Sabina juniper, but this has hardly got any driftwood, a little bit, but that is all genuine. And so it goes on. So wherever you see driftwood, don't just assume that because you know the term tanuki, that they are tanukis. Not so. Not so. So these are all examples of trees with driftwood, but they are not tanukis. So I hope this makes it clear to you what tanukis are and what tanukis are not.